Is Logan City the best place in Australia for Afghan food? I'm not sure, but there's a pretty strong argument that it is. I headed to Logan Central to learn a bit more about Afghan food. First up, I headed to Afghan Sultan Kitchen breakfast and tea. I found this place really charming. It's a pretty small space, but there was still room for me to spread out with all of my friends. The menu is concise, but does have a few surprises. It was mid-morning, so I got what the menu said is a traditional Afghan breakfast, the kocha. It came with a decent portion of Afghan bread, as well as lemon, chilies, and raw onion. I also ordered a green tea. All of this came to exactly $20, or around 905 Afghanis. Kocha is basically a chickpea and lamb stew. It was hearty, rich, and really tasty. I don't exactly know what was in it, but the lamb gave it a delicious, fatty, nutty taste. It must have been cooked for a long time. I wasn't quite sure what to do with the chili and raw onion, but the lemon juice added a nice zest. Still, I prefer to eat it straight. These guys have only been open for a few months, so do try to support them if you can. Next, I went to the Afghan supermarket for a drink and a look around. They had a variety of interesting things, including a fruit and nut section where they had this big bag of walnuts. Damn son, that is a lot of walnuts. I resisted getting a cock chock and instead got a bottle of doogh, a type of yogurt drink popular in Afghanistan. I then made my way to Hamid Bakery. These guys are always busy and their bread is top notch. I grabbed a container of donuts and sat down at the lightly graffitied park nearby for a snack of doogh and doogh nuts. The donuts were much harder than a typical donut. The texture was actually a little bit closer to a biscuit. They did taste a lot like a regular donut, just without the sugar and cinnamon. Unfortunately, I didn't have a bottle opener with me, so opening the doogh was a bit of a challenge. Truth be told, drinking it was almost as hard as opening it. Doogh is a combination of unsweetened yogurt, carbonated water, and salt, and that's exactly what it tasted like. This, along with the possibility of ingesting broken glass, meant I gave up about halfway through. I don't think doogh will be replacing my daily can of V, but I'm glad I gave it a go. Next, I went back to Appleseed Shopping Village, not to the breakfast and tea shop, but to the main Afghan Sultan Kitchen. This place is pretty similar to the breakfast shop. Simple yet tasteful decor, but with a raised dining platform with a rug on it as a traditional dining space. Before I had even ordered anything, the lady serving me brought out a bowl of soup.
It's always funny hearing when people talk about that.
It was delicious. I asked what it was, even researched some possibilities, but they said it was just normal vegetable soup. I disagree. This was a superb bowl of soup and I cannot believe it was free. Once again, my philosophy of never turning down a free bowl of soup served me well. I ended up getting the lamb kebab with Quabili pilao, which is basically Afghanistan's national dish. It came pretty quickly. For $25, I got some pickles, a mountain of rice, and 2 skewers worth of lamb that had been charcoal grilled to perfection. The rice was soft and lightly sweetened with sultana and carrot. The lamb was fatty, smoky, chewy goodness. It took me back to the streets of Kandahar. I mean, I've never been there, I'm just imagining it. This was absolutely delicious. Next, for something sweet, I went to Hello Juice in Logan Central. This place has only been open a few weeks, but I hear good things. I got the sheeryakh faluda. Sheeryakh is Afghan ice cream, and faluda is a noodle-based dessert that's popular in the region. Both of these were delicious, and I'm surprised I've never heard of them. Could either of them be the next Dubai chocolate? Apparently, sheeryakh uses full-fat milk, condensed milk, and powdered milk, making it one of the milkiest desserts known to humanity. It was sweet, creamy, lightly spiced, and had some nuts for crunch. Underneath the sheeryakh was the faluda, which contains all of this stuff. Now, the idea of chopped vermicelli noodles in a dessert sounds strange, but it works. The noodles take on the flavor of the ice cream, rose juice, and fruit really well, and are slightly stiff from the ice cream, making them a bit chewy like tapioca, but just noodle shaped. This actually got better the more the ingredients melted and mixed together. I'd gotten it for takeaway, taking small bites as I drove home, but I had to stop outside of a library to give it the proper attention it was due. Delicious. So if you've wanted to go to Afghanistan but can't for really quite obvious reasons, then perhaps the next best thing is to try the incredible food offered by the Afghan diaspora in your local community. Everyone I spoke to was incredibly patient and kind with me, and I will definitely be back for more. Although I might skip the doog next time.